Have you ever just looked at your online feed and felt like it's actively working against you? Designed to make you angry or anxious or just completely burned out? Today, we're going to talk about how to flip that script. How to go from being a product of that outrage machine to being the curator of an online space that actually serves you.
And look, we've all been there, right? It's that moment you realize your digital world has turned hostile. You're just getting force-fed this constant stream of fury, and your first instinct is to just unplug, get away from it all. But what if there's a better way?
Now, this is probably the most important thing to get straight right now. This is not on you. It's not a personal failing. You don't have a lack of willpower. The system is working exactly the way it was designed to hijack your attention and keep you scrolling. It's a structural issue, not a you issue.
Because here's the good news. You absolutely can. You can actually retrain the very systems that were built to distract you and turn them into tools that support your focus, your curiosity, and, your well-being.
Okay, so let's dive into the core idea here. It's called slow tech. And no, this is not about throwing your phone in a river. It's about becoming incredibly intentional. It's about curating your tech so it stops being your taskmaster and starts acting more like a thoughtful assistant.
Let's think about this differently. Imagine treating your digital tools the way a craftsman treats their tools. They're chosen for a specific purpose, they're meant to last, and they're valued for what they help you create. If an app uses a slot machine feed to keep you hooked, you're not the customer, you're the product. And that really gets to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? Tristan Harris, who used to be a design ethicist at Google, he frames this as a moral issue. Your focus is one of your most valuable assets, and any interface that's designed to steal it is fundamentally failing you as a user. It's theft.
So just to be super clear, this isn't about becoming a tech hermit. Tech minimalism often means radical steps, like getting rid of your smartphone altogether. Slow tech, it's much more about selectivity. It's about asking a really simple question for every app and device. Do you actually earn your place in my life? Do you pay rent for the attention you take up?
All right, so how do we actually do this? Let's get into the practical, hands-on stuff you can do right now to start teaching your algorithm what you really want to see. It really boils down to 3 key actions. First, you got to give the algorithm constant, crystal clear feedback. The author of our source material literally hit the not interested button 40, that's 40, times in one afternoon. It's a bit of a brute force method for sure, but man, does it send a message. And honestly, on the big platforms, it's surprisingly easy to do. On TikTok, you just long press a video. On YouTube and Instagram, it's usually hiding behind those 3 little dots. You need to get familiar with these menus and use them aggressively. Seriously, think of it as weeding your digital garden.
But step 2 is just as critical. See, algorithms absolutely hate a vacuum. If you only tell them what you don't want, they'll just start guessing wildly. So you have to be prescriptive. Actively go out and follow creators who represent the kind of feed you do want. A great starting point is to find one artist, one naturalist, and one teacher. You're replacing the outrage with an antidote.
Okay, now this whole philosophy, it builds out from just your feed. It actually extends to the physical devices you hold in your hands. A huge piece of the slow tech puzzle is pushing back against our throwaway culture.
And the scale of this problem is, it's just staggering. 62 million tons of e-waste every single year. That is not a rounding error. That's a mountain range of discarded gadgets, and it is growing.
And here's the crucial part. The overwhelming majority of this stuff isn't being handled right. Only about 22% gets formally recycled. And this isn't an accident. It's the direct result of a system that's built to prioritize new sales over making things that last.
But there are these really powerful movements fighting back. You've got right-to-repair laws, which basically give you the power to fix your own stuff. And then there's extended producer responsibility, which shifts the cost of recycling from us, the taxpayers, back to the companies that made the products in the first place. This quote totally reframes the simple act of fixing something. When you choose to repair that cracked screen instead of buying a new phone, you're not just saving a few bucks. You are participating in a rebellion against throwaway culture. You're helping build local skills and reducing the need to mine more resources out of the earth.
And that brings us to the next really important layer. Look, individual action is great, but it can be exhausting trying to do it all alone. The fastest way to build these slow tech habits is to do it with other people. Your willpower is finite. Your community can be a force multiplier.
And there are so many cool ways to do this.
You can find a local repair cafe. You could organize a simple device swap for old chargers and cases. Or, and this is my personal favorite, you can start a feed club. That's where a small group of you agree to watch and like specific positive content to retrain all of your algorithms together. Collective action hits a whole lot harder.
So this is where it all starts to connect. All these personal and community actions, they start to build real momentum towards something much, much bigger, actually changing the incentives for the entire tech industry.
I mean, these are the kinds of big-picture goals we should be aiming for. Can you imagine a world where a 10-year smartphone is the industry standard? Where companies are required to use recycled materials? And where we have real regulations that curb the most addictive design patterns, forcing platforms to be way more transparent?
And that's the key insight right there. Smart policy doesn't just clean up the mess at the end of a product's life. It fundamentally changes how things get made from the very beginning. If a company knows it's on the hook for a product for a full decade, you better believe they're going to design it very, very differently. And ultimately, this whole slow tech philosophy has huge implications way beyond your personal devices. It's really about reclaiming your single most valuable professional asset, your focused attention. Just think about it for a second. The success of things like the 4-day work week, it isn't magic. It's because those teams are forced to adopt these really intentional, slow work practices. They set boundaries, they protect time for deep, focused work, and they are ruthless about cutting out the noise. They start treating attention like it's a resource, just as valuable as payroll.
So let's just end with this. It's a bit of a provocative question, but it's worth thinking about. If your work culture is so fragile that it can't survive even 4 hours without constant pings and notifications, is it actually designed for meaningful work? Or is it designed for the appearance of being busy? It's a question worth asking.